To our channel all about BI. This is going to be a part of Azure Data Factory playlist. I just wanted to let you know about one of the options available in storage account. Okay, normally in real time whenever we are handling files, right, we used to archive it then and there. Okay, but Azure lets us do this automatically in an automated fashion, I would say. Okay, by something called lifecycle management. Okay, if you go to your storage account and check lifecycle management, right, we have options to archive the files that are there for more than certain number of days. For example, if a file is more than 1 day, move it to cool tier. There are 3 tiers, as we all know: hot tier, cool tier, and archive tier. Okay, there is also a delete tier available. Okay, so hot tier is nothing but if we want to access some files very frequently, we put it in hot tier. Okay, and if we are going to access a file infrequently, we'll move it to cool tier. If we access it very rarely, we'll move it to archive, and if we don't want, we can delete it. Okay, this is the entire flow of the tiers, and we can make the transition automatic. Okay, for example, if a file is more than 1 day, move it to cool tier. If it is more than a week, move it to archive tier. If it is more than an year, move it to delete tier, or delete the blob. Okay, like that we can say. But how do we do it? As I said, go to storage account, click on lifecycle management, add a rule. So here it provides us certain options to automate this archiving process. Okay, we need a name for it. Okay, once you give that, we have rule scope. This is nothing but whatever rules we are creating, whether it can be applied to all the blobs or we want to filter it. If you choose this limit blobs with filters, there will be a third option or third tab available here for you to provide the filter details. If I do not select that, the third tab will be gone. Okay, alright, so once I choose the scope, I have to choose whether it is block, blob, or append blob. So most of us would not have come across this type of blobs. There are different types of blobs available: block, blob, append, blob. The primary difference is when we want to keep on appending something to a file, we go for append blob. For example, log files. Okay, there is a log file present in my blob storage or data lake storage, in which I am going to keep on appending my day-to-day activities in my ETL process. Okay, or based on any event I want to log something, I'm just going to keep on appending, not modify it, read it. I'm not going to do any other operation. In that case, I can upload a file as a append blob, so that it is optimized for appending data. Okay, and all other types of accesses, random accesses, we create block blobs. Okay, this is the primary difference. So we'll have to choose what kind of blobs this rule needs to be applied to. So we have to choose all that applicable, and then blob subtype, whether the base blobs or base file or whatever versions available with the particular blob, we need to apply it to all the versions and snapshots. We need to choose that. Once I say all this and say next, we'll have options to add rules. This is kind of logic app flow. We used to see look at logic apps, right, for creating or generating emails and all. So like that, we'll have this particular screen wherein if blobs were last modified more than these many days, as I said, if it is more than 2 days, then move it to cool storage. And I have to add one more condition: if the blobs were last modified more than 1 week, right, 7 days, then move it to archive storage. Okay, and then if it's last modified is more than 365 days, then move it to or delete the blob. Okay, this is the way we mention number of days in which it has to be archived or moved to cool tier or delete the blob. Okay, so the why would we have to move it to cool tier or archive tier? Because the pricing is different. If it is hard, it is bit more, and if it is cool and archive, it's bit lesser. So in order to save some cost, we are doing this activity. Okay, and one more thing: if you are having a container and under that container you have lots of blobs with different kinds of tiers, like some will be in hot tier, some will be in cool tier, and in Azure Data Factory, if you have a pipeline working on with a get metadata activity, right, normally we'll provide the container name and inside that a folder name occasionally, right. So if you have all kinds of blobs present in one single container or folder, you will have to filter it. Okay, if I use a get metadata activity to get all the files in a particular folder, it is going to get me all the blob names irrespective of its tier, whether it is hot or cold. When I'm accessing hot tier blob, it won't cause any issue. But if I'm trying to access a archived tier blob, right, it is going to throw me error. We cannot access an archive tier until it is moved to hot or cold. Okay, so that is one thing that I wanted to highlight here. Whenever you are using this approach, make sure you filter the blobs before applying any get metadata activity, or before you want to get the files to be loaded. Okay, you have to ignore the files which are present in archive tier. Okay, this is all that I wanted to say. And once I click add, right, this policy will be created and the files in my container will automatically move to corresponding tier upon reaching the specified day limit. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. More to come on Synapse playlist in the upcoming days. Sorry for the long gap that I have taken this time due to some commitments. Let's meet quickly. Let's meet soon on another video on Synapse Analytics on a real-time project. Okay, thank you so much.